نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. My respected elders, friends, brothers, mothers and sisters listening from homes. At this very moment we are sitting in the session of Q&A. Every week we receive questions from brothers and sisters. Also this week we have received some questions. One of the questions which was posed is it true that the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah are more rewarding than the rest of the year, including the days of Ramadan? Well, the hadith says regarding the ibadat and the good deeds done in the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, the hadith is there is no good amal, there is no good deed more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the deed done in the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. So this will include month of Ramadan also. Every month has its own virtue. Every month has its own virtue. And the virtue of the Dhul Hijjah, the first 10 days, is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, any amal, good action is done, is very beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these 10 days are passing by very quickly, very rapidly. We should make most of this in these days. And in the nights are such that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath of the 10 nights of the first Ashra of Dhul Hijjah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to do something so that we please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through our good actions. Second question is, if you cut your hair and forget during the 10 days for Qurbani, will it not be accepted? What the brother is trying to say is, the hadith is, those of you who intend to give Qurbani, slaughter an animal, or the animal will be slaughtered on their behalf on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah or 11th or 12th, they should refrain from the first Dhul Hijjah till their animal is slaughtered from cutting their hair and clipping their nails. So brother is saying, if somebody forgot and his Qurbani will be given and he forgot to, he forgot and he cut his mustache or hair or he clipped his nail, so will his Qurbani be accepted? Yes. This amal of not cutting hair and not clipping nails in the first 10 days for those who will be giving Qurbani on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah is mustahab, is preferable. Neither it is fard or wajib. If someone will do it, he will be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if someone doesn't do it, we can't say to him, we can't blame him, why did he not do it? This is up to him. So the brother also asked, if somebody forgot, the Qurbani will be accepted. Even those who doesn't, who cut their hair or who cut their clips in these 10 days, and the Qurbani will be, and they are giving Qurbani, the Qurbani will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is it permissible to read the Quran while a woman is in her periods? For a woman, she is saying to read it loudly. A woman, when she is in her monthly circle, she is not allowed to read Quran at all. Touching, she can't touch the Quran because she is not in wudu. In order to touch the Quran, one has to be in the state of ablution, and a woman, when she is in a monthly period, she cannot read the Quran. It's not allowed for her. In Dhuhr and Asr, the Fard prayers read with the Imam, do we stay completely silent, or do we recite Al-Fatiha and our own surah? When we are offering the prayers behind the Imam, be it Fajr prayer, Zuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, those who are standing behind the Imam, they will remain silent. They will not read anything, neither Surah Fatiha nor any surah. They will remain silent. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, their ruling is different on this issue. They're saying one will read. The Ahnaf, the Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, he has his proofs. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Imam Shafi, they have their own proofs. Imam Malik has his own proofs. So according to Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, one will remain silent. Why? Because the hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that the recitation of Imam is sufficient for everyone. He will do the recitation and this will be enough and this will be sufficient for everyone. This will be on behalf of everyone. So the Muqtadi, though the followers will remain silent behind. They will not read anything. I struggle to have khushu in salah. My mind always wanders off to all the matters. What is some advice to solve this? Nowadays, people accept some miracles to happen to them. They want the Imam to give them something such, tell them to read this and this will happen. It doesn't work like this. Just some people, somebody texted me and said, someone is ill. So can you tell us some wazifa that can show us a miracle and our patient, instantly, becomes well. But it doesn't work like this in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to keep on asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't look, a believer, he doesn't wait for the miracles to happen. He carries on his work. You carry on your work. You keep on making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't wait for the miracles. This is from the shaitan. Shaitan puts in our mind, says, the Imam will say something, Imam should tell us something that as soon as I read, it happens. Something what I want, it'll happen. It doesn't work like this at all. The person who's asking the question, we have to struggle, we have to strive, and we have to fight our own selves. The one who's asking the khushu, concentration in the prayer, how it will happen, it's not something that, if I say to you, just concentrate on Allah is in front of you, that's true. Allah is in front of us, is watching us, is listening to us. But shaitan is there, our nafs is there to divert us from our concentration, which with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to fight our own selves. And when you're standing in the prayer, if those who know the translation of the Quran, when the Quran is being recited or you're reading the Quran, just focus on the translation what you're reading. By doing this, you will focus on this, you will concentrate. And if you don't know the translation, just have this in your mind that I'm standing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now. I'm talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They say that when you reading the Quran, Allah is talking to you. When you're reading the Quran, Allah is talking to you. When you're in the prayer, you're talking to Allah. When you're in the prayer, you're talking to Allah. So just remember that I'm talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now. When you're talking to, if someone talks to the president or a prime minister, he will be focused. he won't go anywhere. He will focus. I'm talking to a very high personality at this very moment now. His mind will not wander here and there. So when you are standing in front of the king of all the kings, then our mind, then we have to fight ourselves. If we are concentrating and in this period our mind then wanders, then try to bring it back. Keep on fighting yourself. Keep on fighting, keep on struggling. Inshallah, the more we struggle, the more we will gain the closeness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. I is having multiple itar, the perfumes, which are different scents, considered extravagant spending or overspending or waste of money if you use them all. Well, itar is something that Rasulullah loved. He liked itar so much. Spending on your own self, it does not come in the category of overspending. Spending things on your own self and your children is something that, will Allah, on the day of judgment, you will not be asked. So spending on itar, buying good itar, using them, that's good. It doesn't come in the fuzul kharchi, it doesn't come in the, extra spending or overspending. It's good, you should. But if, and sometimes, the halat and circumstances with everyone are different. If someone is, he's got children to feed, look after, and he's financially is not so well, and then he's buying all these things, then maybe if he's buying itar and his children are there, he needs to look after them, his wife, he has to look at many other things, and then he's doing it, then we could say that this is wrong. But if Allah has blessed you with wealth, you're buying itar, is good. It's a sunnah to use itar. Our Prophet ﷺ said, I love itar. He loved itar. So buying itar, having many types of itar at home, nothing wrong with this. Now the final question is, two more questions left. Should you pray salah in congregation at the back of the masjid with others if you miss the salah with imam? Maybe many will not be happy with my answer. Many of you may not be happy with the answer I'm going to give you now. I can give, before hard I can tell you, you won't be happy. And the answer is, once the congregation has been done, second congregation in the masjid is not allowed. It's makruh tahrimi. It's not allowed. It's makruh tahrimi. You can't do this. You can't even do it. If somebody says, well, what about the second floor? They say, once the stone, a foundation is laid for the masjid, from there to the sky is masjid now. It's a masjid. Second floor is also masjid. Unless if there are some rooms open, you can do Jamaat there. If the rooms are open, if there are rooms, then that will not be. No, this area is class of masjid. Upstairs, the area is class of masjid. Besides that, all the rooms outside, they are in masjid. Although we say all this, all the compound is a masjid, but Islamically, where this hall upstairs is a masjid. Our itikaf will be done here. One cannot do itikaf in a room. He has to be in a masjid. So second Jamaat not allowed. Second Jamaat is not allowed. This teaches the lesson that we should be here early in the first Jamaat. Why miss Jamaat? Why we should miss Jamaat? We shouldn't miss Jamaat. Like someone said, doing Iqamat, Imam stand up for early, do Iqamat early, put everything on the Imam. We should blame our own selves. Why we are coming late? So you can't do this makruh tahrimi according to a Hanaf fiqh, and they have the proofs. When they say fiqh meaning is the explanation of Quran and Hadith. This is the fiqh. Fiqh is explanation of Quran and Hadith. They extracted the masails and the rulings. They went into a depth in this sea, in the sea of Quran and Hadith, and they took out the masails, the rulings, and made it easy for me and you. All we can do, pick a book up. The alim, what does he do nowadays? He picks a book up and the masala is there for him. Who made it easy? Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah made it easy for us. Imam Malik made the masail easy for us. Imam Mohammed bin Hanbal made the masail easy for us. Imam Shafi made the masail easy for us. Last question, you will like it. The answer, you will like it. I know. I can tell you now. The question is, if you can't afford to pay your car insurance for the year and do monthly payments, which has interest, it's not interest, is this haram if the car is a necessity? Now, remember, two things here now. One is a mortgage. When you lend money from the bank and then you pay back, that's something else. Now this is something else. This is insurance company. They're saying for a year is £600, for example. Okay, you pay, one lump sum, once you pay £600. If you can't pay £600, you're going to pay monthly, then you pay £700 for a year, full year. This is a deal, it's a new deal now. New deal. If you want to buy a car for someone and he says to you, well, if you're going to pay me now, it's £1,000. And if you say you're going to pay me in 10 months, then it's £2,000. So this is deal now. It's a deal here. Similarly here, it's a deal. The insurance company is doing a deal with you that if you're going to pay year, once it's £600. But if you can't, then we will charge you £700. Then it will be £700. You pay monthly, and if you work out at the end of the year, it will be £700. So this is jais. So don't be mistaken here by the other mortgage. Don't go home and say, well, Maulana Sahib made it allowed. He allowed us. Mortgage is is allowed. It's not allowed. That's something else. You borrowed money there. You borrowed money from the bank, 10,000, and you will end up paying I don't know how many thousand more. That's interest. That's soothe. This is a deal here. The insurance company is saying, this is a deal. You pay monthly, you pay this much. And if you pay once, this is this much. So this is jais. I'm sure you are happy with this answer. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may He accept our sitting here. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.